what, like 20 degrees where you guys were?
Yeah, I mean that's the low. Like that was a high. The lows
Oh
were like
wow.
close to zero. It was wild.
Wow.
Like
That's crazy. In Tennessee, that's crazy, man.
yeah, I mean every year we've been here, we've had at least one or two of those during the
Cold
winter.
fronts.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's I don't know, man. It like we still have we still have ice out front.
Uh-huh.
It's starting like it's doing a good job of melting. Like between today and tomorrow, hopefully it's gone, but it's been there for over a week. Like
Wow.
yeah, it's been I will say that is the one thing I miss is the nice weather in California, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been like 80 and sunny. Like the
Yeah.
last like
Bro,
all
don't
the days that you guys had
yeah,
the cold
yeah.
front, I was like, geez, man.
Yeah, it's been bad. So,
Yeah.
how are you doing, man, overall? Let's start with
Um,
the check-in.
yeah, I'd say doing pretty good. I think it's like I'm definitely used to the 12/8 fast now. Super comfortable with it. Like, I'm not getting cravings, anything before my mealtime starts. There's even
Okay.
been a couple days where, for one reason or another, I couldn't eat till like 1, right? And usually I start my meals at like 11.
Okay.
Whether it be we're out of the house or, I gotta do something. Usually it's kid related, right? But yeah, I found myself, I was like, I'm in a good position. Like, like I'll have a LaCroix or something, early, or I'll just drink a bunch of water. But I'm not, I'm definitely, you could definitely feel like the energy is a little bit down because,
Okay.
blood sugar's down and things like that.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
right before you break the fast, but it's not like cranky anymore.
Yeah.
It's like
Good.
it's very tolerable. So it's like something where I've been able to push the limit. I've been able to shorten periods on some days. Been giving myself a little grace at the end of day if I have to, like, my cutoff is like a hard 7 and I have to, eat at like 7:05, 7:10,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So yeah, I would say the nutrition stuff I'm definitely feel good about.
Okay.
I shaved off, like, I think that initial 10 pounds is starting to become like more than water weight now because
Yeah.
it hasn't moved much more than that. I got down to like, so I started at 275, got down to 261 was the absolute lowest. And I did that like before, I ate.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
but I'm probably right around 264, 265 at the end of day, right? Which when I
Yeah.
measured 275, it was I think end of day. So I think realistically, I think I'm down about 10 solid pounds.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's pretty solid for 3 weeks. That's really good.
yeah, and I could definitely feel it. I think I definitely feel less bloated. I feel less
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Mm-hmm.
tight in my clothes. So yeah, it's definitely reassuring for sure.
Yeah, good.
And I would say the wall that I hit this week was, or I guess the hurdle, I guess, was um, a little bit of like stress, some stress stuff going on with, just the kids and juggling everything. And then not being able to get my workouts really this week consistently.
Mm-hmm.
I really only have like, sorry, sheriff's flying.
Oh no, you're good. I can't even hear it.
Oh, okay. Um, um, so getting my workouts in has been like kind of a struggle this week. And then like weeks past, I've missed like at least one or two. Just having some grace on that, but it's just hard to kind of fit in the like hour, 30 minutes to an hour I have while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Um, because me and Trina are like kind of overlapping on our home gym here, as far as like times to live. So that's been kind of a bummer because then I feel like um how do I put it? I don't want to say like I feel like chunky or anything. I just feel like I haven't like accomplished any, oh, not, I don't want to say anything, but I haven't like checked that box for the day, right? It doesn't
Okay.
feel productive physically because most of my day is also just kind of sitting with the kids or being stationary in one way or another.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you. How about after they go to bed? Is there a time after they go to bed?
Um, yeah, honestly there is. I was thinking about that too. Because they go to bed, like she'll be down, probably asleep at like 8. But then recently our son has been, kind of up and awake at that hour. Even though we're trying to get him to sleep at like 7, so he'll like fall asleep and then wake back up. So as I'm putting her down, I gotta come back and then put him down too. So by the time I get like in bed, it's like 9,
Okay.
right? So like 9 to 10, um, would probably be a realistic lift,
Uh-huh.
or 9 to 9:30, whatever
Yeah.
I end up doing. It was something I was thinking about, and then I was also like, well, will that affect my sleep lifting like right next to bedtime, right? Because it
Yeah.
was a lot easier when she used to go down at like 6:30. Then I'm like, oh yeah, for sure, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. But now it's like pushing because she's getting a little older, and then the newborn's schedule is kind of falling in. He's also falling asleep around 9.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's tough, man.
No,
It's
no,
tough.
no doubt about it. No, I get it. So, okay. I mean, look at you're winning because you're down 10 pounds. I think that's significant.
Hmm.
The nutrition's good, like the fasting, being able to be good in that 16-8 window, right? And not being cranky or agitated, less
Hmm.
bloat. Excellent. Like these are all things that building that momentum and like this last official call, we'll call it,
Hmm.
for the group is all about getting you prepared moving forward. So I will send you guys an email how to move forward. If you want to continue, there'll be like a monthly fee. It'll still be one call a week with 30-minute personal call. In the
Hmm.
month, you use it or lose it. I'll put in the email, and then send you the price. But my goal is to help you get there. And today's teaching, if you will, is to get us focused on that. Because I think what happens, Calvin, and I'm guilty of this, is I didn't like. So I've been like rewinding. Like, how did I go from making that commitment in June of 2024 to losing the weight? And really, what I started to do, I started thinking about my future self. So it wasn't just focusing on present day. Now, we need to focus on present day, but I was thinking about what I was going to look like, what I was going to feel like, the identity shift in all of it. So you've heard me talk about like being a fit athlete. So I didn't just work out for fun anymore. Now I'm working out to be fit. That
Hmm.
changes everything. Like, because when I was working out for fun, I was eating for fun. So like everything was for fun. But now there was this drive that said, hey, there's people that do what I do that are more fit and I desire that. So what are they doing? Right. So I
Hmm.
had to ask the question, what does a fit person do? So I want to, and I know Chris is going to see this later. I'll email him the video or send him the link. But I want to challenge you guys to think about like maybe you as the college athlete, the football player, going back to that, like if you woke up in his shoes, what would it take to continue to be fit? Like what mindset, what things need to change and shift that aren't happening today? So I want to get you back to being that lean, mean, athletic machine, like because I think that's how you're supposed to show up. I think that's what's
Hmm.
internally your desire is to show up that way. Because when you
Hmm.
show up that way, there's a lot of things that happen. And the same things happen for me. There's a confidence, there's structure, there's what we call discipline, right? There's a habit of saying yes to things and no to things. So it's getting our focus on the future self. So future you, same thing with you, Chris, future you that will get you to where you want to be. So, but it's making those decisions in the present. Here's where it becomes a challenge. When we have these stressors, like we're not getting the workout, and so then we feel a type of way like I didn't get to check that box. So, okay, I hear you, but if nutrition is what builds the healthy body, exercise is probably going to what's going to relieve stress, right? And there's a lot of stress. So, okay, you didn't get that stress. Can we do it later? So, that drive. the you have you heard of the reticular activating system, the RAS, like what we focus on? So, when you buy a new car or you rent a car and you're like, oh man, I don't really ever see these out on the road. And you buy a new car, you're gonna see them everywhere, right? So it has your attention. So the goal is to get you and Chris to like focus on your fitness and be so focused on is like I I want there's a way I want to show up down the road. So May, August, December. These three check-ins, like I want to look a certain way. And each time, May comes, August comes, December comes, I will have lost X amount of weight, X amount of weight, X amount of weight. Or I will fit into these pants. Or like we have a wedding coming up and I want to fit into this old suit. Whatever those things are, having those in there. Let me let Chris in. Having those in there and continuing to keep focus of like, okay, that's where I want to go. Because the more we understand where we want to go, then it's like, okay, that's important to me. So what am I going to do? So the first thing, have focus on where we're going to go. And then the other part is making choices present day that help future self. So back in June of 2024, I had to make choices of present day that helped me get to where I'm at today. I had to say no to things. I had to say yes to things. Um, I had to understand like it was more than just the present. So focus on the future self and then figuring out, okay, if I'm going to become this fit person, what beliefs would a fit person have? What behaviors would a fit person have? And what standards would they have? Like, what are these things? So, like, let's just say you woke up and you're fit, you're exactly where you want to be. What would it take to maintain that? And being able to answer these things and putting them down on paper. And so, like, we're at week 4. We're at week 4, the last week of this official group, and we have a fork in the road. We can take what we've learned and continue to grow and continue to go down the road that gets us to that future self that implements a lot of these things that we've learned about eating, fasting, prioritizing protein, eating whole foods, and saying yes and no to things moving forward because we have that future self in mind. Or we can say, you know what? I don't believe it's possible. I still don't believe it's possible. So what I would like you guys to do, and I'll put this in the chat too, is I would like you guys to write 2 paragraphs or 2 pages or whatever, some sort of journal entry. What would happen if I didn't? What would happen if I continue? So like a failure trajectory and a desired outcome trajectory. What would happen in those two? I knew if I didn't continue forward, I would have been super disappointed in myself. There was no, I don't, something shifted and I was going to get it no matter what. I was going to change. And I think that was part of the process is like helping you guys get started. Like I gave you the how to, but I always know we're up against resistance. And today I really want to make sure that we're focused on the resistance. And I think when we prepare our brains to take in this information, we want to use as much visuals as possible. So you can use old pictures if you were fit before. You use pictures of like other people that fit. Like if you're looking on social media, are you looking at lifting pages? Are you looking at fitness people? Like on my thing, when you do the whatever that mode is, and you get the For You page, like all my stuff is fitness because that's really what I'm focused on. Fitness and faith. Those two things are like boom, boom, boom. And so when your algorithm focuses on that, then like, hey, that's a part of who you are. And so being so focused in on that and like deciding, hey, this is important, seeing the images, seeing how people lift, seeing how people exercise. And this can go to our relationships, like how we want to show up as husbands, how we want to show up as fathers, really determining like, okay, I got to focus what What beliefs does a great dad have? What what behaviors does a great dad have? What standards and non-negotiables does a great dad have? What does that look like? And a husband and that sort of thing. Like focusing on being the best husband possible. Like after going through a divorce, like I'm like I never want to be in a marriage like that again. I knew I wanted to have somebody significant in my life, so I knew I was probably gonna get remarried. But I'm like I didn't want to show up poorly, and I didn't want to choose somebody who showed up poorly. So there was two things. I had standards for myself and for that person. And so I wanted to see like I had to change and become the person that I wanted to be. And this is any time we shift, we have to change the identity of who we are. I'm no longer the black sheep. I'm no longer that jerk husband. I'm no longer that jerk dad. I had to shift and like God do a lot of work in me, but also there was work required of me to like, hey, if I stay the same, how how am I going to be perceived? How am I going to be received by my family, the people that I care about the most? When I look in the mirror, do I want to continue to see an overweight man staring back at me? One that I know that I can change, but I just for some reason that I I I, I didn't do it because I believed that's the way I was always going to be. And so it's challenging ourselves to focus on where we want to go and recognize that if we don't have the future self in mind, we're going to continue to fall back on what we've always done. And so it's making these choices and saying, okay, I believe this is possible for myself. And because I believe it's possible for myself, I'm going to start having compassion for that guy. And I'm going to start being, like we said, kinder, softer, and slower. So I'm going to be kinder with my words, right? Softer in my approach and slower in my reactions because I want to make sure that he gets to where he wants to be all the way around. I believe this is going to work for your fitness, but I also believe it's going to work for your marriages. I also believe it's going to work for your parent, yeah, you as a parent. I don't think this is just about fitness. I don't believe that. I think we can apply all this around. But it's thinking about who do you want to show up as. And it could be as simple as tomorrow, a week from now, like May, August, June, December, like I said. It's just, are we thinking about that guy enough? Are we thinking about the changes that need to happen? Are we neglecting it or are we actually doing the work today that would get us where we need to be? I will say the pain has got to be pretty significant, right? So we we got you to change some things. So I got you to change the way you guys eat. Maybe not 100% what we eat, but the way you eat. So now you have a window. So you've disrupted your normal routines. That's good because when you disrupt the normal routines, then you start changing how you think about food. So now it's like, well, I'm not eating till, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. So like, I'm good. I don't have to worry about breakfast. I don't have to wake up first thing and boom, where's the cereal? Where's the eggs? Where's the bacon? Like whatever. Now I'm just like, well, I'm not eating till 1. And then I already have my meal. And then, 5 hours later, I'll have dinner and then I'm good. I don't have to worry about ice cream and cake and all that stuff at night because I'm going to be good. So it's recognizing that you've already disrupted your normal patterns. So now what you're doing is making new neural pathways in your brain. So you've already rewired your brain. I'm good. I don't need breakfast. So where I used to like want to get donuts in the energy drink, now I don't. Does it still come up in my brain? Yeah, sometimes. And I pass twice daily. I'm like, oh, they got good donuts there. I don't go. And if I do, I get one, not 6. There's a big difference now because I keep thinking about future me. And so, like, once that's on our focus, future you as fitness, husband, dad, that is where the habits start developing. So then it's not discipline. Yeah, discipline is great, but habits are better because habits are solidified. Habits are like, hey, that's non-negotiable. I got to go to gym at 7. The only reason why I don't go is if I'm sick or hurt. So I didn't go today because I'm sick. So I got to recover. So I'm thinking about future self. I'm thinking about tomorrow. Like maybe I could work out tomorrow. It's okay that I can't work out today, but I got to take care of myself today so I can get there tomorrow. So it's paying enough attention to future self so that way we can get to where we want to be. Because I'm telling you right now, what I see happen in the work that I do is that people are so focused on the present, which is 100% valid, but we don't make any choices or decisions or changes based on the future desire self, the future person that we want to be. And so it's understanding like if we don't make those changes, we're just going to keep getting that same person all over and over and over again. But the first thing that we got to change was the way you guys eat and the time window that you guys eat. So that, in my opinion, is already progress in that direction, going in the right direction. Looking over my notes, what I wrote here. I think the other part is recognizing how important the community is, knowing that we're in it together, knowing that you're not alone, that there are other men, and there's going to be more that join these groups that need each other because there's a lot of similarities of what we're going through, and it might not be circumstances as much as like the feelings that come up, the frustrations that come up, the overwhelming moments that come up. You know, circumstances may be different there, but the feelings might be very similar. And just having a place to be like, boom, oh, can I offload this? So I don't have to carry it. Yeah, do it. So I think that's, you know, a big part of it. So yeah, I think this week your homework, I'm going to have you guys do the two roads, like the fork in the road, the desired outcome, and then the failure of trajectory. Like, what do those look like? And try to be as vivid as we possibly can. Think about other times you failed, like all that stuff, and then desired outcome, like how great can it be? What do you think it might feel like? How might you, if you looked in the mirror and you saw somebody who was fit, what would that look like? How would you feel? What would you be thinking? What things would you have learned to get there? All that stuff. So, th- any questions, Cal, on that? I don't know, Chris, if you can chime in, but any questions, Cal?
Um, Not questions. I think just kind of like trying to think about my situation, like how I don't know, just kind of like the where I'm at with all of that right now. But yeah, I think it'd be super helpful. I think the one thing is that I know that I'm missing out of my life is community, like especially with other men. Christian men
Yeah.
is like a big thing for me for because I'm trying to get to the point in my life where where future me again. Like I want everything to be Christ centered, and I want to make decisions, based off of my faith, and through that comes discipline and eating right, taking care of myself, right, showing up, kinder, slower, and what is
Softer.
it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Softer. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Um, and like those things, align with that. And I know for me, sometimes I feel isolated, right? I have my
Mm-hmm.
work
Mm-hmm.
people and family and my family here, but at the end of the day, I think it's hard because my journey is unique. Um, well, I wouldn't say unique, like fully unique, but well, it is unique. But what I'm trying to say is it's nobody, that I really have in my life consistently surrounding me is like kind of heading in the same direction, right? Doing the same things and trying to
Mm-hmm.
be on this similar track.
Yeah.
And so like community, I think is one thing that I've been missing a lot because
Mm-hmm.
like when I fall short, when I don't know what to do, when I, slip up, accountability stuff, it's like I have no one to turn to.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
me right now. and unless I crack down on, certain things and I just kind of walk myself through certain things, like they don't get resolved.
Yeah.
There's no answers. There's just questions. So I think for me, that's something I was thinking of. Just to kind of elaborate, I think that's something I'm seeking. Right? Is that community aspect?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think having the community is gonna like-minded people, like everybody in the group is trying to accomplish the same things. And so
Mhm.
it's figuring out, okay, one, I'm not alone, and then what are they doing? Because maybe you could borrow some of their ideas or their thought processes, or just being able to sit with things. Like I think the vulnerability is a huge part of this, creating a community that is going in the same direction, that is desiring the same things. And it's, all the guys in these groups are like men that care about themselves and their families. And so it's just being able to put it into words, but also the images, like recognizing that our brains are wired to like that. I mean, look at we see a nice car, we're like, oh, that's a nice car, right? So it's recognizing like, hey, if there's this fit person out there, so I mean, we don't want to make it idle, but we got to get it on our horizon, right? So that's why I put like faith, fitness, and business. So like those three things are there. Like faith in God, like living for God and doing those things and everything that encompasses that. But also being able to be fit and then help others, letting people know like I'm here to help others. Like I'm here for the guy that doesn't have community, that wants to be able to get fit and do this with other brothers. And so it's like, hey, there's a place for that, and if you want to invest in that, great. Like it's an opportunity for you. And so recognizing, like hearing you say that is like, it's huge because, it takes me back to thinking about when my boys were little. And like when you said you didn't have time to work out, and I'm like, yeah, man. And, just having to run around and, work. And then, man, I was back in school too. That like there was just so much going on. It was hard. It was hard. And it makes sense that I was like at my biggest points. Like, if I can find a picture, I'll see if I can put it into our chat. Uh, I know it's not kind to say this, but Veronica and my wife and I were like, I said it first. She didn't say it. But I'm like, man, I look like a tick. Like I just, I have the picture. I'll show it to you guys. But it's one of those things where I did put other things priority, right? Obviously, it wasn't my fitness, it wasn't my health. And so now if I could reverse it, I would have done fitness first because everything would have fell into place. Personally, I think. Um, I probably would have had more energy. I probably would have had more endurance, probably a better attitude. For sure a better attitude. And I thought it was pretty positive, but you know what? Looking back, I'm like, I could be, I could have done better. And so hearing you say like, hey, you want this and you need community, in my opinion, I respect that because that's super important to hear another grown man say that like, hey, I need community. It's everything, And so it's putting like-minded people. So like you have a team of people that are be around you that are, I'm going to encourage you guys to do the same thing over and over again. Like, hey, what is your future self? Like not sabotage. I don't know about you, but I've always sabotaged, like, especially when it didn't happen fast enough. And that was one of the things I knew with the kinder, softer, slower was it was going to take time. I didn't put on that weight overnight. So it was going to take time to take it off. But I knew I was not going to stop because I now believed that I was going to do what a fit person does. I was becoming the fit person. So I implemented those three behaviors, three beliefs, and three habits, like standards that I knew that they would, or at least I thought they would have. And I just implemented them and I followed them. And sometimes I even worked out. I didn't tell you guys this, but I'll tell you now. Sometimes I'd work out twice a day because what I do for work is pretty sedentary, right? So I'd go to the gym and then maybe during the middle of the day I had open time, I would go on the bike in the garage or I'd walk outside. And then if the weather was terrible outside, I'd walk inside my house to get the 10,000 steps. That was a non-negotiable for me. Like I'm like I have to be more active. So it wasn't discipline, it was a habit. It was something I built in because I was like, well, this is what they would do. This is what a fit person would do. A man of faith that loves God and loves his family. Well, he reads the Bible and he applies, like he holds himself accountable to God. And that's what I do. Like that's not a discipline, that's just a habit. And so like what looks like discipline to some, I'm like it's just a habit to me. I'm able to say no or I'm able to say yes. It's just what's important. When getting fit becomes important, when being the man that you want to be becomes important, nothing is going to stop you. Absolutely nothing will stop you guys. And so it's understanding like how do I get to that place? Well, identity is the big part of it. So I would say you are the athlete. It's still inside of you. And if let's just say if you've never identified as an athlete, I could tell you both of you guys are because you both exercise and work out. That's what athletes do. Fit people also eat for nutrition. They also follow the rules. They have beliefs. They have ways and standards that they've created to maintain that level of fitness. And you don't ever have to stop that. And who benefits? You, your spouse, your kids, your family, your employers. Like everybody benefits. When you show up healthy and you show up confident, everybody benefits. So it's understanding, okay, how do I create that? And I'll be with you on that road to continue to like, okay, challenge you here, challenge you there. And where do you need help? Where do you need support? What I think for me is like what was I afraid of? That's always the thing. What fear? Fear of what? What am I afraid of? Fear of failing? Of course, if failure is part of it, then of course I'm going to fail. But am I afraid of what other people are going to think?
Hey, can I chime in right there, Jeff?
Yeah, go for
Because
it.
that actually reminds me of something that I think like has always been hard to articulate, but has always been there when it came to like me starting these diets or even doing the diets, right? Where they were successful and I lost a lot of weight and I got down and I got healthy, but then it stopped because I would always put this timeline on it where it's like, hey, if I just crash for, a month, 6 months, however long, and that's my stop period, right? Then I can get back to, and again, it goes back to that relationship with food where it's like my fear in eating healthy and eating for nutrition and, cutting out all this bad stuff that I enjoyed was like, I'm not going to have that happiness of this, food or item anymore. And it kind of goes back to the friend thing, right? Where I think
Yeah,
that that's a
yeah,
great correlation, great analogy for it because it's like I feel like I'm going to lose that if I commit to, hey, this is what I do now,
yeah,
right? Like I know it has to be like for it to be sustainable and the lifestyle and all this and all the people that I've even spoken to that are just fit, right? They just walk around fit. Is they just are like, hey, this nutrition piece, like I don't do Chinese food, right? Like, and that's my
yeah,
favorite. I don't do, these fried foods. I don't do French fries. Those are my favorite. I don't do ice cream, right? I
yeah.
just don't do it. And in my mind, I'm like also have that subconscious fear of like, I'm gonna lose that if I
Mm,
commit to this, right? And that's
mm-hmm,
been such a big part of like my identity, honestly, is it
mm-hmm.
like in eating and being the bigger guy in my family and
Yeah,
being a football player, right?
yeah,
And then also, for better or for worse, tied to my identity. But then, just kind of how I see myself too. Hey, this is just who I am, right?
yeah, yeah,
This is what I do. I like to go enjoy food with community, with people. That's how I connect.
yeah,
But then on the flip side, it's also like, well, I also eat this way, right? This
Yeah.
is what I do. I don't eat the way that, you know, Trina does because she was a bodybuilder and I come from a different background. This is my culture, whatever, right?
Right. Right.
But yeah, I think that was something I just kind of wanted to air out right now too, is that fear aspect of like
Yeah.
I'm losing that, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
it's a good thing, honestly. If you look at it, it's like, hey, if you lose that tie to food, it's a good thing because then you can, you know, come eat healthy and eat for fuel and not perceive food as comfort or, you know, dopamine or, you know, all these things that lead to negative eating.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just something that just came up that I wanted to mention before I forgot it.
Yeah, no, I like that and respect that a ton because that it's a big part of it, right? So losing that friend. And it's like anything else. Like when we lose a friend, we look to gain another friend, right? So if food is the friend that we're losing, it's going to get replaced with something else. So uh it it could be the community. It could be spending time with the kids. It can be going on a date with your wife that, is non-food related. I don't know. It's finding pleasure in other things, not just food. And so it's recognizing, yeah, there's some real fears. I hear you, but it's recognizing that because this is identity, this is not going to be short term. Um, because this is identity, this is a way of life, and this is why your friends are like, yeah, no, I'm good without the French fries. Like, eh, eh, and I want to make sure that we understand, like, it's okay to have Chinese food once in a while. It's okay to have French fries once in a while. But majority of the time, 90-95% of the time, it's like, I'm good. Like, if we go out to eat, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what can I get there that would be safe on the way I like to eat? Stick with steak and maybe some potato, vegetable, like I'm good. But it's always trying to figure out, like if I know we're going somewhere crappy, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat before because food's no longer my friend, food's nutrition. But the people that I get to see, that's exciting. I think that that's where the rewiring of the brain is recognizing community, that's exciting. Being with people, that's exciting. But the food I don't need to be drawn to like I had before. And I can tell you right now, I'm not for sure. Absolutely. Like I'm like, like the other night, I think I messaged you guys about wanting to eat junky because I'm not feeling good, but I just ate yogurt and I had some soup and like the soup wasn't 100%, but it was good, man. So I'm like, I eat the soup, it had some rice in it. Usually I don't eat rice, but it's fine. Like it's 95% of my diet is on point. And even that, that's not bad. We had some cookies. We bought some cookies from Costco. I've had some, but I eat the whole bag. Like it would be all consuming. Now I'm just like, okay, I'll have some. And, I think that's why I got sick is because I reintroduced sugar this week. Personally, I really think that's what it is. And so I'm like, well, I'll just stop with the sugar. Not a big deal. Because I was fine without it. Like after so many days, I'm good. But it's understanding it's not temporary. It's not a crash course. This for you guys is long term. And I'll be here as long as you need me to support you. That is what I truly believe. But I also believe it's not just with the fitness, it's also with being a solid man as a husband, as a father, as somebody in the community, somebody in the faith. This is all about building you up to get to that place. And when there's fear, let's talk about it. Like when there's um, resistance, let's talk about it because those are the things men don't talk about. I could tell you that 100%. And once you let it go, like there's this fresh breath of air. It's like, okay. The vulnerability helps. The transparency helps. Offloading helps. Now you're no longer carrying it. Now you're like, you're not white knuckling it, so to speak. Now it's like, okay, I'm living and I'm going to thrive and I'm going to get back to where I want to be. It's all about resetting as fast as possible. One of the things that I learned, especially at the beginning, because I was working on building the habit. So I wasn't perfect at it, right? So I was like, well, if I got off plan and I had a long day of eating poorly, I'm like, you know what? I'll just follow it up with a fast. I was already had built up the tolerance to the fast, so I just go for a long term fast, like 24-hour fast. and I'll just have one meal tomorrow night, and then go back to a 24-hour fast. And that always reset me. And so now, like, I just vary it. Now it's like sometimes 16:8, sometimes 24, sometimes I go 48. Rarely I'll do 72 hours. Those are awesome fast, but you know, it's just recognizing like how do I reset and get back on schedule? Because I'm thinking about future self. So when, let's say, there's that fear of, oh man, it's gonna be temporary. No, it's not. That's the reframe. That's the rewiring of the brain. Is like, this is not temporary. And I've actually built in May, August, December. I built these in so I have checkpoints along the way. So I can say, hey, shoot, first 3 weeks you lost 10 pounds. Probably by May, man, 20, 25. I don't know. Somewhere in there, you more. It's just staying on course. And look at, if you don't hit it, as long as you're losing, long term, you're going to get there. Long term, you're never going to stop. This will always be something that will be part of your life. You're going to build in that habit. And then it's like, yeah, this is what I do. I told my wife, I said, I'll probably never be fat again. I just won't because this is a habit. This is what I believe. This is who I've always believed I was. Even when I was heavy and, chunky and looked in the mirror, like I always believed this is who I was. And because I believe that, I started doing it. So it's one of those things where once it's on our horizon, once it has our attention, then we implement everything we need to do to get there. So yeah, it's one of these quotes that I picked up. It says people who were successful delay that they have the ability to delay gratification. Because when you're putting your future self needs over the desired present self, so you're able to delay gratification. I think that's the key. What seems good in the short term is going to disrupt us and take us back. Can we delay it? Can we just pivot around it? Can we shift? Can we minimize the damage? Like it's just working on thinking about the future self because that's what's most important. That's why you're here. Because you know internally, you have what it takes, but it's a matter of like, okay, how do I get there? And that's the images and the visuals and like, hey, putting myself around people that think the same way I do, start reading the same things. And so like when it starts getting exciting, you're like, oh, I just can't stop. Whether it's your faith, whether it's your fitness, whether it's relationships, I just can't stop. I want to learn from people. Whether you're learning from me or the videos that I send you guys, like those are experts in the area, in the field. So like, are you learning from them? Are you implementing these things? Is that who you believe you are? That is what we're up against. I stopped believing I was the fat kid, the black sheep, the hurt person, and started to realize like, no, I'm a child of God. I have the ability to be fit. I have the ability to continue to be strong and be impactful and help people. That's my goal, to build people up. I'm really good about building people up. I think it's a gift. And maybe it's because like as a fat kid, I was always looking for ways to connect with people that didn't, may or may not have wanted to connect with me. So I just figured out, I'm like, okay, it's about them. What do they like? What are they good at? And now it's just a natural way of me connecting with people. That's just the way I do it. So that's why the business part is hard because I'm like, oh, I gotta make money, but I care about these people. Like, yeah, but I think they're gonna understand you need to make a living too. Like, and you're helping them, and there's all these things. So I have to work through that guilt of it's internalized guilt, but it's like, Jeff, you need to make money. That's just the way business goes. Like you offer, service and they pay. And so it's like, oh, I know. It's so hard because I don't want them to be mad at me or to think certain way of me or like, that's fine, Jeff. That's theirs to worry about. Those are things I'm working on, So it's like as a being a helper, it can be a challenge, but on the flip side, I have goals and there's business goals that I have that I need to meet so I can get to a place where, I can take care of my family. So it's always going to be a challenge. There's always going to be opportunity to challenge ourselves. um, shift in mindset and identity and really starting to believe like, okay, this is possible and working on staying in the steps to get there. So, yeah. Any questions, feedback, comments?
Um, so kind of like moving forward too, like, do we
Yep.
just, are we going to be added to a different group or is it going to
Yeah.
be like this?
So I have at least one other guy that will be added to this group. So
Okay.
maybe two. I gotta ask the other guy. So and then it'll just be like you guys have all learned the same stuff. So there'll be a lot of similarity. And then
Hmm.
moving forward, it'll still build off of this and continuing to help you guys, support you guys. I think that's a lot of it. Is just being here, like, hey, what's going on? These are our goals. This is where we want to go. Is a resistance. I'm really good with the resistance. So how do I help you in the resistance? You know, how do I help you like in reframing certain things, rewiring our brains? Like, are you having hiccups? Like tools, strategies, like in food and like the eating part, I think I got it dialed in pretty good. So this is what I would do. You know, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? So, because there's going to be plateaus, so you're going to hit plateaus, and um, I think it's important too to step outside the fasting and eat. Like, there's going to be a day where you just go ahead and have Chinese food because your body needs to know, oh, okay, we're still eating. Yeah, and that it'll just get your body to burn faster too. So, um, yeah, I mean, I think this the beauty of how how we approach it is it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Let's get back on track. I know for me and maybe some of you other guys, like it's like, oh, I messed up. I'll put it off a week, or I'll start next weekend, or I'll start Monday. It's like, no, no, no. Start the next day. Start the next day. So having that support, I think the accountability is gonna be everything. So we'll do it once a week, and then the 30-minute call, use it or lose it every month. We had that 30-minute call that would be specific to whatever you got going on. Uh, it'll be more of like, okay, tell me what you got. Let's kind of tweak some things, just really, coach athlete kind of work. Like, let's get after it. Um, but the community is like every week, okay, what do you got? What do you do? Check in. How much you down? We'll keep track. Like, we'll keep track of all that stuff. Um, because I think we need to start getting on the, okay, this is how much I'm down. I want you to start focusing on the weight. I want you to start saying like, oh yeah, I can tell in my pictures, I can tell in my clothes, I can tell by the way they fit. Those are all successes. Like I can tell that shirt that fit tight before it is loose. I can tell that I better start going to get some more clothes that are smaller. Like that's important. Like most of my wardrobe doesn't fit properly. That I just can be honest. I'm a cheap man, so I'll be using that stuff for a long time. So I won't get new clothes. My wife will probably buy them before I will. But it's one of those things where, you know, there's successes. And as we share the successes, that's that's where the like-mindedness comes in. That's where, the community comes in. Is like, yep, we're all in this together. And it's never going to stop. Like you're going to continue to do this. You're probably going to eventually stop working with me eventually. That's the goal, is to get you to keep going and going, maybe check in from time to time. But the goal is to get you on your way and be like, yeah, I'm good. But that support until maybe you get to your ideal weight, or, however long you want to use it for. I'm going to be here and I'm only going to add to the group. So as people fall off, we'll add more people. I'm going to keep offering this, 4-week program, and then, hey, I'm going to plug you in if you want it. Totally up to you. Doesn't matter to me. I feel like the information that you've gotten will help you continue on if you can stay on it. But I know without support, it's very hard to do that. So, yeah. But yeah, it'll be every week, every Monday. It'll probably be Mondays around this time. So,
And then also you got any tips on convincing Trina to move back to Tennessee? I'm
Well,
just
don't tell her about the weather this week, bro. This is
I know.
that ain't
I
gonna
was
bring her back.
talking about that, right? Um, no, but yeah, I think I'm definitely, on board with that, and we'll
Yeah,
make sure, everything fits accordingly. And but yeah, I think for me that community aspect's it's a big thing.
absolutely.
I know how important it is, and I think I'm recently noticing how important it is, like these
Mm.
last probably couple years.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and something I've kind of inadvertently had with, being in teams my whole life. Like I've always had a community,
yep,
right? And I
yep,
think it, once you kind of grow up or graduate and you get thrown into isolation, that's when you kind of are like, well, what do I do? Right?
yeah,
And you don't really
yeah,
have a name for it. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it because, I want to be on that track too, where it's like, I'm still, even the progress with I've made. Someone took a picture of me yesterday, and I was just like, I still don't
yep,
like the image,
yep, yep,
and it's not being like, mean to myself, like, oh, look at that fat guy, blah blah blah. But it's like I feel uncomfortable with that, and
yep,
I know I could
yep,
do better, and I know, again, that's not the end product that I want. So I want it to be a long term thing. I want it to be who I am, right? Part of
yeah,
my identity is like, hey, I'm a fit person, right?
yeah,
I'm shaped. This is what I do. Like it's just who I am, right?
yep. So I would
Uh,
say on your failed trajectory, put those
uh-huh.
images with it.
Mm-hmm.
Put those pictures. So like it's only gonna be this or worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the pictures solidify everything for our brains. They really
Mm-hmm.
do. And so like if you're like, no, I don't want to be like that anymore, put that picture in there. It's got to hurt a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because that's the reality. Like we can't just avoid it. It's like that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna find those pictures. I think Veronica has them, and I'll share them to the group today. They're like, no, this is how I what this is how I looked. So yeah, man. Well, I'm happy you're on board because I think there's a lot of growth in that. I would also say if you can get involved in a group fitness wherever you're in, what city again?
We're in Brea. No, Whittier. I'm sorry. We're
Whittier.
in East
Okay.
Whittier. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if there's any like we all go like most of us go to CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
So like anything like that, any group, boot camp, group fitness, like where there's
Mm-hmm.
like-minded people, that helps too. Because
Yeah.
you can set up a routine, a schedule, familiar faces. Like it does feel like a team, even though we got 7 o'clock class, 6 o'clock class, it just feels good. Like same people. Hey, how you doing? Some you may get to know, some you may not, but it's
Mm-hmm.
at least you're not doing it alone. It's hard
Mm-hmm.
to do at a garage gym. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
hard. That is, I did that, but I also know there's time constraints, so it might not be possible. So maybe we are the group that helps you in this process for the season of life, which is fine by me. But you know, I get it. That I remember little kids. It's hard. It's hard,
It's
bro.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was actually in a CrossFit group right here in like right on the border of Brea and La Habra.
Yeah.
And it was great. I loved it because for me it's such a different type of lifting.
Yep.
Because it's, with football, my whole life it was just very much stationary Olympic lifting.
Yep.
So a lot of the body weight stuff, it just, threw me for a shock. So it was great and the community was great. I just again, it's like right now the biggest hurdle for me, and this is also why I want to have the community because I don't want to backslide on it and use this as an excuse, is that like the time.
Yeah.
I'm just like right now I'm home all day, and then in the time that I have to work out, even then I don't have time, right? If
Yeah.
somebody pulls
Yeah.
me for something, right now my daughter's awake, but like if I had like a meeting like this or a call or, I needed to go wash my car, do something that I couldn't do while she's awake. It's like there's my work. That's my workout time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I was on a great workout plan at work because at work for lunch we have like a gym in our
Oh,
facility.
wow. Nice.
and it's like all the machines, everything I need, and then one squat rack, one some free weights, dumbbells up to 100. So I had everything I needed, and I was doing great. But then I'm on paternity leave now, right? So now it's like just my squat rack, and 305 pounds is the most I could load it up to. So
Mm.
I'm definitely moving what I can, and trying to be consistent, but it's just time right now.
Yeah,
You
no, I
know,
hear you. I hear you.
yeah. But I don't want that also to be the thing that's like, hey, I got fat because I didn't have time.
Right.
Like that's
Right.
also not an excuse, right?
Right. Exactly.
That a fit person would have.
That's exactly right. There we go. You got
Okay.
it. So, all right. Well, I'll be on the link. I'll update some stuff, and we'll finish out this week all the way to Sunday. And I'll send an email to both you and Chris about the group. And if you want to continue, we'll keep it going on Monday. So, if that works for
Okay.
you guys.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, brother. God bless you, man. We'll
Awesome.
talk to
God
you.
bless. All
All
right.
right.
Thanks, guys. Stay
Take
warm.
care. Thanks, buddy. Bye.